this is one of my biggest kind of realizations, is that being just a gym bro just isn't really that cool. When I was playing rugby at like 17, 18 years old, I realized that I couldn't just be really, stronger and bigger than everyone else. I had to be more like genuinely like an athlete, more athletic than everyone else. And so just being in the gym, just being this gym bro, like you'll get good results, sure, but there's more to it than that. That's like the first level of ambition. There's so much more that you can get to in the whole world of kind of fitness. Like you can become big and strong and you can genuinely like outlift people. You can also run longer, quicker, and jump higher and do things that most people can't. So one of the best things that you can do to understand this is understand balance. So I drew like the yin yang here. So like you can't have one side without the other. So I'm not this like hybrid training guy, but kind of maybe accidentally I've become more of that hybrid athlete. Someone who doesn't just focus on getting a pump on, because really, I mean, that's kind of basic and eventually it'll get boring. I've done that. I did that for like years and it just got boring and I just wanted to do more. I wanted to like go on a long run and see how long I could run. I wanted to go and sprint and see how fast I could sprint, or see how long I could do this random skill like skipping for. Like recently I've been trying to learn skipping and it's been interesting. I've been incorporating it 3 times a week on days I like don't go to the gym, and I'll literally just learn how to do it, and I'm feeling more athletic as a result. So that's just an example, but there are many things you can do. But the most important thing to understand is that to get something you don't have, you have to do something that you haven't done before. So it's about stimulus and adaptation. So like the input and output. Stimulus is basically the way you train, and adaptation is the result that you get. So if you get out what you put in, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. It's quite simple. And if you put in like just being a gym bro, that's what you'll get. And you'll find it uncomfortable to turn, you'll be stiff and sore, and like your joints and places, and your elbows will hurt and your neck will hurt. And I'm not saying that will never happen if you just focus on being more balanced, but you'll become more of an all-rounded athlete. And that, I'm not saying you have to sacrifice size. I still love training for size and for strength, but there's more to it than that. I just want you to understand that there's more to it than that. If that's all you've been focused about, maybe you are into sport and you've been training just like kind of as a gym bro, as a bodybuilder. That's actually not the way you should approach it. Obviously, you should also approach it in those kind of sport-specific movements that you would do that you're just missing out on. It's logic if you actually think about it. And even if you don't do a sport, even if you just want to be an all-rounded, just strong person, you're also missing out, because, indirectly that will improve your gains. Being like able to jump high and being able to sprint fast will also improve like how big your legs are, for example. Like I promise you this, it genuinely will. Even though it might not be traditional like hypertrophy training, or we have to do this slow eccentric, it will still help. Just take my word on that. It will still make you leaner, make you faster, make your you'll notice that you even look different. Like the musculature of your like legs or something looks different. And so let's approach it with, let's just limit the gym 3 times a week. But let's also do something else on those other days to make us more of this like all-rounded person, all-rounded athlete. Let's do some like jumping. Let's do some like plyometrics. Go to the park and try and sprint. Do 10 sprints with like a minute rest in between. Do something that will make you more balanced, because if you think about it, what you put in, you get out. So if you put in sprinting as fast as you can, yes, you might be sore the next day because you haven't done it ever really. But the adaptation that you will get eventually, and this is the whole point of training, what you put in, you get out. So eventually you will become faster. Microdose it. So maybe 1 week you do it once a week, and then the next week maybe you incorporate something else. So you do 1 sprint and then you do a long run, for example. It doesn't just have to be running, right? It can also be like, I don't know, like medicine ball throwing in your gym, or like assault bike conditioning. It doesn't have to be running, because it's not my favorite. It's all right, but it gets boring quite quickly. So it could be anything from, cardio to anything that's like power or explosively related. I'm not going to give you a specific like set of things you can do, because there's a limitless amount of things you can do, like rotational core training, like, sled training, like jumping, throwing, twisting. There's so much. There was one very interesting example of this actually. It's called French contrast training. And it's when you superset like a heavy strength movement with an explosive plyometric movement. Plyometric basically just means like a jump or a hop, for example. So it would be like you superset like a squat and a box jump. So you do your squats 5 reps or something. And then as soon as you finish that set, you go onto the box and you do your box jumps. So there's ways of doing this. So if you just search up like for contrast training, you can get some ideas, but like have fun as well. It's also something that I realized, like this stuff is genuinely fun. Like when you go to the park and when you sprint, it feels fun because like there is no other scenario where you would be outside and the sun is out and you're just fucking running. Something quite primal about that as well, about moving your body quickly instead of just slowly with a bar, a stationary bar that doesn't move, right? And I don't want to be just like a fucking guy that goes to the gym, just this gym cell. It's just like, it's kind of embarrassing, to be honest, if you think about it. There's so much more that we can offer. Like I've even been thinking recently about starting like a MMA practice or like jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something. And obviously that would require some level of strength, yes, which I already have. I'm already pretty strong. I've been going to the gym for like 7 years, but that would also require a level of athleticism that you wouldn't get from just going to the gym. You'd also develop it from just training the sport, but you can elevate your capacities, obviously, from doing all these exercises. So have a look at, so I hope that like opened your mind a little bit about how multifaceted like your body and training can be. There's so much more that you can do than just push pull legs, for example, or like bro split. And also obviously if you have goals, specific goals in bodybuilding or powerlifting, then obviously there's going to be an element of repetition. You have to do that. But if you don't just think about this, you might find training more fun, and you might actually realize that I don't enjoy training like this way, like as an athlete. I'm just going to stick to the gym. That could be perfectly fine as well. Or you might just realize that, okay, this is fun, I want to do this. I'm also going to stay to the gym because I also like it. Maybe it makes you appreciate it more. Maybe it cuts your time down in the gym so that you actually make more progress because you're spending less time in there. But when you're in there, you're actually properly training and you're actually resting properly as well. Hope you found that useful. Bye.